Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. Welcome to the group 5 presentations. In these presentations, we are going to talk about Reactor. And this group consists of 3 students. The first one we have
Wildan Januari Fiansa
and
Widat Rizky Anissa.
the last one is me, Meliana Safitri. Next. And these presentations, we are only going to focus on 4 main points. The first main point is the introduction to chemical reactor. And the second point is types of chemical reactions. And the third one, we are going to talk about application of chemical reactor. And the last one, we are going to talk about parts of chemical reactor and how chemical reactor works. And in this last part, we are only going to focus on CSTR. And without any further ado, let's jump to the presentation.
Okay, first, what is reactor? A chemical reactor is an enclosed volume in which a chemical reaction takes place. In chemical engineering, it is generally understood to be a process vessel used to carry out a chemical reaction, which is one of the classic unit operations in chemical process analysis. A chemical reactor designed to maximize net present value for the given reaction and also to ensure that the reaction proceeds with the highest efficiency toward the desired output product. Producing the highest yield of product while requiring the least amount of money to purchase the end product.
Types of chemical reaction. Batch reactor. The simplest type of reactor is a batch reactor. Materials are loaded into a batch reactor and the reaction proceeds with time. Batch reactors are typically used in small-scale production and reaction with biological materials, such as in brewing, pulping, and production of enzymes. One example of a batch reactor is a pressure reactor.
Next, we have CSTR, or Continuous Stirred Tank Reactor. In a CSTR, one or more fluid reagents are introduced into a tank reactor, which is typically stirred with an impeller to ensure proper mixing of the reagents while the reactor effluent is removed.
Next, we have PFR, plug flow reactor. In a PFR, one or more fluid reagents are pumped through a pipe or tube. The chemical reaction proceeds as the reagent travels through the PFR.
Semi-batch reactor. A semi-batch reactor is operated with both continuous and batch inputs and outputs. In semi-batch operation, one chemical reactant is loaded in the reactor and a second chemical is added slowly, for instance, to prevent side reaction.
And next, we have the main applications of the chemical reactors. Actually, the chemical reactor used in almost all the chemical industries, such as aeration and oxidation industries, enzymatic and catalytic process industries, crystallization and concentration process industries, hydrogenation process industries, homogenization process industries, and the last one is thermal transfer applications.
Next, what are the components of the chemical reactor? Chemical reactor consists of different parts which perform different functions. Different types of chemical reactor have a different part. Here are the main parts of a continuous stirred tank chemical reactor, or CSTR.
First, tank. The tank is the main part of the chemical reactor where all the chemical reaction take place. It is the place where all the reactants meet and mix with other types of reactants to produce the final product. Second, stir. The part of the continuous stir tank reactor, which is responsible for storing and homogeneously mixing all the reactant.
The third one, we have heat exchanger. The heat exchanger provides the necessary heat for the chemical reaction to occur. And next, we have inlet and outlet pipes. Inlet pipes used to add more reactants into the tank, while the outlet pipes release the final product. And last, we have control system. The control system is used to configure, control, and monitor all the reaction within the chemical reactors.
How do the chemical reactor work? The working principle of different chemical reactors often differ. In this case, we will have a look at how the continuous stirred tank reactor works.
Step 1. Preparation stage. Start the whole process by preparing the machine and setting it up according to the product specification, and also prepare all the reactant that you would like to mix using the continuous stirred tank reactor.
Step 2, mixing stage. The stirrer will spring into action as soon as the reactants enter the tank of the continuous stirred tank reactors. Apart from that, the heat exchanger will provide the necessary heat that the reaction process requires to complete the reactions. The process will continue with all the factors remaining constant as the reactants mix and form homogeneous mixture. It will take a considerable amount of time, which usually varies according to the type of reactants.
And the last step, step 3, release the homogeneous mixture. The machine releases the homogeneous mixture as soon as the mixing process is complete. It maintains the properties that had during the inlet process as well as the outlet process.
This is the end of our presentation. If you have anything to ask, please kindly give us your question.